Hello everybody. If you have stumbled across this video, you are in good fortunes, because tonight on this diecast channel we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things to discuss, which is Autoworld. I have in front of me our Autoworld collection of 4 GT40s. Nearly every one of the chase models. This is how we collect them in the jammer with plastic bags. We're loose collectors. We take nearly everything out of the package. And as you can see, I have lots of empty slots. There's some Bugattis down here, but the Bugattis really are not part of this video. We have lots of empty slots because we have lots of cars that we need to put in there. Autoworld has released a lot of GT40s this year. So we'll go over all of the ones that we've acquired that are still in the package, and then we're going to open them up and we're going to go through every one of these GT40s as a showcase for the Autoworld GT40. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are. We have all the Autoworlds that's been acquired by us the last maybe year, and we're going to go through them tonight. We've been waiting to get a good night to do this video and get all these cars assembled, and now we've got them all. It's amazing because you think about when they run these castings and how much money it takes to tool up the factory on a specific tooling. But you can see, I bet you they did all these at the exact same time. But we have retail releases, we have hobby releases, and then in the back we have some website exclusives, online retailer exclusives. I guess those would be hobby exclusives. But we're going to go by them one by one, starting with the retail release. This is one that you would see hanging on the pegs at I've seen it at Walmart. This is the Premium Release 3. Number 1, it's the GT40 MK1 Mark 1, and it's a Premium Release 3 version A. And the version B car is this blue one, and this is supposed to be the street legal version of the 4GT. I guess they made a couple street legal versions back in the day when they were making these, and these things are pretty plentiful on the online marketplaces, online retailers, eBay. You can also get the Ultra Red Chase. The Ultra Red looks the same for the A and the B release of this release. It looks exactly the same, the car. It's just one's on one card and one's on the other card. So there's a retail release. There's 3 of them. Then there was the this was an OK Toys exclusive, and it says Nitro XGT exclusive. If anybody knows what that means, let me know, because I always thought this was an OK Toys exclusive, and it even says on the card that it's a OK Toys exclusive. So we have the number 2 at a 3600 count, limited 2. We have the number 5 gold with the red pit markings at a 3600 count. And then we have the baby blue with the red pit markings at a 6000 count. And in addition to, these are all the standard normal releases, and then we also have an ultra red from each version. Right there and right there. So we'll be able to go through those and put those on the turntable. And behind that, Mr. Lamley over at Lamley Group, the online blogger and video, Instagram. If you're in the diecast and you haven't run across Lamley, you're probably not that into diecast, I would imagine. But he had a collaboration with J-Car Diecast in Houston, Texas. It's an online retailer, limited to $24.96, and it was a white GT40, and actually got the chase too, the ultra red chase. So we're going to be able to go through those. We're going to open them up just like we're going to open up all the rest of them. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to get them into this case because I've been hanging on to these things in bins forever, waiting on a good time. I think the first ones that hit were these retail releases, and then the OK Toys was soon after. But look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cars that were released just in the last year. So these were all from 2017 and up. And the last ones that we saw were these dirties. You can't really see them real good in the plastic, but we'll take them out. I don't know when the dirties were released, but it's been a year or two since they released any GT40s, and then all of a sudden, 11 in 1 year. So let's get these cards open, cut, and the blisters cut open, and start going through these on the turntable. And we'll go through all the past ones on the turntable. You'll be able to see the only ultra red that I don't have. I'm missing one of them. But I do have all the rest of them. So stay tuned. We'll set the turntable up and get these opened. Okay, here we go. We're going to go through the Autoworld GT40s one at a time, show them all to you. I have a pretty comprehensive collection of these things. I can tell you the story about it as I go, but I really always loved the GT40, and my son got into Hot Wheels, and I started collecting the GT40 casting and Hot Wheels, and they have a 2005 Ford GT in Hot Wheels, and I had seen these Autoworlds on the internet and hadn't got any yet, and I hadn't bought them, and all of a sudden I decided to, and I bought one, and I thought, holy moly, this is a really sweet little casting. I mean, it's really small, it's true to scale, a lot of good details. I love the Mark I race car, so I just decided that I'd start acquiring them. So a majority of these were acquired retroactively. I think I started in well after 2018. It might have been 2019. It's when the dirties started showing up. But I was wrong when I spoke. these started, the first year was 2013. So this was a blue one in 2013, the blue number 72. Lots of really nice detail to these things. They come out with the next version was a red, the B version, the A version was the blue. Then you had the red version, which was the B version. And here was the ultra red, or the chase. Autoworld does all their chases in this beautiful candy apple red paint. If you've ever beheld one of these or held it in your hand or looked at it under light on a turntable, this candy apple red color just pops. And I love them. Red is my favorite color, so when I found out that they had chases that were all red, I could not help myself but try to start acquiring all of these little Autoworlds. And some of them aren't that, well, they never were cheap, even when I started. This is the, yeah, but they've gotten more and more expensive over the years, and now you can't even really find them. These old ultra reds, and even the old the old regular releases. I believe this was another retail release. I could be wrong. It's the first time in Gulf livery, even without the licensing. Number 7 on the roundel, chrome lipped wheels, rims with orange rims. And I think only 1,256 of these guys exist. They had a count of 1,256 on this number one. I don't know what the count was on the previous ones, but on the previous retail release, but this one was 1,256. That's not very many, 1,256. And you think about, I always tell people, think about the that was the A release, and then the B release was this white one with number 27 on it. Think about all the number of super treasure hunts that are produced and are in circulation. And then you think about only 1,256 of these cars made it to retail or were cast and painted in these colors. And then you take the ultra reds, which are at about 3% of the total count. That means there's probably only 38, maybe 40, but I think the number is 38 of these guys, of these ultra reds. Only 38 of them. That's why you can't find them. That's why you can't even find them on eBay, because there's 38 people that have them, and that's not very much. And that's not counting the ones that maybe, I don't know, maybe a kid's got a hold of or something, or they didn't make it into the hands of collectors. And we'll put this up with the regular so you can see the difference. Just a really low circulation, cool casting. Those were in 2017. So from the first release, the red and the blue, 2013, and then 2017, that was 4 years. They released those two, and then they released this Hobby Lobby exclusive. Well, I need to back up. It was this solid guy. Solid black. I suppose it was a Hobby Lobby exclusive. Of course, I wasn't collecting these back when you would have been able to find them in the store. I bought all these on the secondary market, This is the only Ultra Red that I don't have, is this Hobby Lobby release black. It was the version A, and I do not have. I had a chance to buy this back when I very first started collecting them, and I thought I had spent enough money for that epoch buying other Ultra Reds, and I let it go, and I have never seen another one again. And I watch for him. I watch for him all over the place. So this guy, the Ultra Red, may have escaped me. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't have a whole lot of hope that I'll ever see one. And if I ever do see one, that the owner is willing to part with it. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. That was a version A. The version B was this guy right here. Pale blue, the Gulf livery, no roundel. Pretty much the same car as what was previously released in 2017, except no roundel, no number. Everything else to me looks the same. They just didn't put the roundel on it. That was a version B release hobby exclusive from 2017, and then here's the Ultra Red. Some people don't like the orange and the candy apple red, but it doesn't mind. I don't mind it at all. That candy apple red and the orange to me looks awesome together. But that's just me. I don't know. Next, after those, there was a Mijo exclusive that was, oh, and the count on these, the count on the Hobby Lobby was 1248. And if you take 3% of that, that means only about 37 of those guys. The Chase, the Ultra Red. If you watch the Champion DJK video blogger on YouTube, he talks about this. If you want something in Autoworld, you better get it quickly, because once it's out of circulation, or once it's out of retail, the numbers on the cars are so low, you may never see them again. Maybe until somebody dies. And then who knows what's going to happen to that collection. But this is the Mijo exclusive in 2017. There were 1,800 of these guys made. 1,800. A little bit higher count. Black, silver rims, Goodyear printed on the tires. This is an outstanding version. The difference between these hobby exclusives is that the A and the B release both had their own Ultra Red. So here's the Ultra Red for the A release. 2017 Mijo exclusives. That red with the gold rims, just, it looks awesome. And the silver stripe, man, it does look good with the silver stripe. The B release was the same car in Gulf livery with the roundel, no number, and no chrome lip on the wheels, and no chrome on the tri-spoke, on the center spoke, which I like. I like that a lot better than having the chrome on there. And for that one, the Ultra Red, there you go. Now I did see one of these pop up on eBay the other day, and I don't think the seller had it priced well, and the way I remember it, I saw it at $99 and I never saw it. I mean, I saw it after it was sold. If I would have seen it for sale, I would have bought it at $99 in a heartbeat. I mean, these things are in such low circulation. The Mijo exclusive, the math comes to 54 pieces for the chase. 54 pieces for the chase. Okay. After that, we had another Mijo exclusive that was actually, they got the Gulf licensing. So it was the same colors, but a little bit different. It has the Gulf there on the front. You can see it as it rolls around. So they had the Gulf licensing. They got some other licensing and some other graphics on there. And the wheels have some writing on them. I think it's Firestone, and it's got a lip around the outside of the tire. The Ultra Red count for 3600 comes to 108. 108 of these Ultra Reds exist. I have a hard time paying $60 for a Super Treasure Hunt, but I guess it's demand. There wasn't much demand for these things. Some of them I didn't give that much money, as much as some people pay for Super Treasure Hunts. After that, that was in 2018, that Gulf Mijo exclusive. After that, let's see, in 2018 they had this release. I'm not sure if it was a hobby exclusive or a retail release, I'm not sure, but a number 40 Gulf livery. Just almost exactly the same as the Mijo exclusive, except different number, and it doesn't have near as much of the kind of racing tempos on the side. It's literally just says Gulf, and there's not much to it. And this one was the A release, and it did not have its own Ultra Red. The B release was this dark blue Gulf livery, number 12 in the roundel, and it did have its own Ultra Red with white tires and red rims. Kind of crazy. The white tires and the red rims. And some of these I should have mentioned, some of them have raw bases, but some of them, like this number 2, some of them have painted bases. Like this number 2 coming around was an example of a painted base. It just depends. They kind of do them all a little bit different. Let's see. I guess the yeah, they did have the A and the B release was of this one was this exact same car, but it was on the different cards. They had some of them on the A card and some of them on the B card, but it's the exact same car. So I guess you would have to multiply that number by 2 This was a little bit higher of a release. These guys, they were like 4728 of the A and 4680 of the B, so that puts it at 140 on the Chase. And since it was the same car, you double it, so maybe there's 280 of these things of the 12 car. So you might be able to find this one a little bit easier on the secondary market, because that's a huge amount more than 37 or 38 or 54, some of those previous years Ultra Red. And then this is where I started kind of paying attention to them and collecting them, if you can believe it. Every one of them previous to this car I purchased on the secondary market. Insane. But this is a dirty version. This came out in 2019 or 2020, somewhere in there, but if you can see, it's dirty. It's after the race. And I'll just put the clean one up so you can kind of see the contrast. They spray it and they make it look dirty like it would have after the race. And I am not sure of the count on these. I don't have the card out. Apologize for that, but here's the Ultra Red. Actually, I do have the card out. Because some of these I still have on the card. I have one of these on the card. Actually, I have all the dirty Chases in a carded version. So 2,400 of these. That was the count. So divide by 24, that's 100. These were interesting because they had red tires and white interiors and a painted base for all these dirties. They kind of had the same Ultra Red scheme. Then we have the number 2 as a dirty, in contrast with the clean from a couple years ago. You can kind of see it on the front, on the back, on the sides where they've sprayed it. Autoworld does a really good job with this. Hot Wheels doesn't do that, for sure. Hot Wheels doesn't weather like Round 2 does with Autoworld, and I think even Johnny Lightning. And here's a Chase. Red tires, gold rims, white interior. Pretty cool. And here was the dirty number 1, and up till now we haven't had a clean one of this one. There wasn't a predecessor release that was a clean version of this Ken Miles Daytona color scheme. Was it Daytona or Le Mans? I can't remember, but maybe it was a Le Mans. But there's a dirty version. There's the Ultra Red. Side by side. You can see even on the Ultra Red you get that dirty look. And so I collected the 6 dirties, and that got me going, and then I somehow was able to acquire all of the rest of those, and then that was it. Retroactively I acquired all the rest of those, and that was it. And they hadn't made any for a long time, for at least a couple years, until this year, and man, they just exploded.